Hola, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Round Table of Poker live with me, Shuggy Wuggy. .1. Don't forget .1. Anyway, it's good to be back here again. I think this is the third Sunday in a row. A warm welcome to all the new members who have joined us on our very own community page for poker players who play on the VR, whether you play on VR Poker or whether you play PokerStars. Did you have a good week? Did you make the leaderboards for PokerStars players? Of course, the leaderboard finishes this evening. I had a great Monday. I had a challenge to get my Halo, and I've been working so hard. I've been playing PokerStars for 8 weeks, and I wanted to get 100 million to get my Halo. Well, on Monday, I managed to get it, but there's a sad story. But enough of me. It's not about me. Excuse me, I'm burping because I've got iron brew. Do you know what iron brew is? It's a Scottish drink. Well, I can't do it because my screen's going a bit crazy. Anyway, it's time for me to bring on our guest this week. Now, it's a player that I've never met before. I don't think I've ever played him at the table before either, but we'll find out all about him. And he's a member of the page, and he came up, stepped up and says, yep, Shuggy, I'll get interviewed. I will answer the 22 questions because all our players answer the same 22 questions. Hello, Cherie. I was putting on the table there. Great table we had. Cherie was there. Crazy Guy was there. Zoo was there. Newton was there. And another good Scotchman was there as well. And there's Yuri. Right. Okay. Without further ado, we are going to bring on today's guest. Let's bring him on. He goes by the screen name of Fast Freddy G. Here he is. Hi, Freddy. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Shuggy?
Good. I'm good. Fast Freddy G. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. First, I think I only agreed to like 19 questions, not 22. Was it that you said?
Yes. Okay. Well, I can easily cut out 3 questions. But wait a minute. I've got somebody backstage. Oh, it's not connected. Now we've put a link on the page. If anyone wants to come on and ask their own questions that interrupt us, they can do. Somebody's backstage, but they've not connected their devices, so they need to connect their devices. Right. So, are you ready? Are you ready to run the gauntlet, Freddie? Yeah.
Ready as I can be, man. I've loved your loved your webinars, or the questioning and all that stuff with all of your players and what have you. So,
good. Yeah. And it's good to put a face to the voice and the time that we spend on the table with players. So it is 100%. Good to do that. I mean, there must be somebody you play with quite a lot, is there not?
This person.
Right away.
He needs to get off. Get off.
Tisha.
I don't know if she can hear us. She's there, but yeah.
She's stuck there. That was me just playing.
Sure.
I wouldn't do that to you, Freddie, I promise.
It's all good, my man. It's all good.
She's back. And Tisha. She's just waving there. Right. Okay. So, Freddie, what is your username on the Poker VR? Put everyone straight.
So, Fast Freddy G's you introduced me to. That's my username.
Okay. Have you got any other usernames?
Yes, but only for a small period of time. I was, and I hope this doesn't I learned my lesson, and it was something that it was particularly happy about, but I was banned when I was calling my cards at one point, and somebody caught wind of me. I don't want to say cheating, but I was like, hey, just help me out the table, got this in, and then anyway, I got banned for a few weeks, and
right.
I talked to Meta, and I was like, hey, I apologize. I was just having fun with friends and stuff, and good situation. But so for a short period of time, I had a different username, which was Fast Freddy G, but I spelled it a little differently. So
okay, with you, but you've killed that username, and you're a good boy now.
Of course, I learned my lesson. And you know what? Meta was really cool about it. They were like, after I beg and plead, I said, you know what? Learn my lesson. I apologize. They're like, all right, we'll let you back in. You're all good.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. If you make a mistake or you do something, there should be a 3-card system, I think, or traffic lights.
Like soccer or football.
or or even like baseball, 3 strikes and you're out.
Yes.
I think that's only fair. We're only human, aren't we?
Yeah. We make mistakes, and it was for fun. It was fun times,
Yeah.
and anyway,
Yeah.
moving on.
Yeah, I've got somebody backstage. I don't know if I can mention a name, but I don't know if you know. I don't know this person, but it says device is not connected, so I can't bring the person on unless they connect their device. So I'll keep them there. Right. So whereabouts are you, Freddie?
I'm in Redondo Beach, California. At the current moment, I was going to be. I was explaining to you, my daughter's soccer game got moved from one time to another, so I was going to be up in Sherman Oaks, which is about 45 minutes from here, but currently at my home in Redondo Beach, California.
Okay, Redondo Beach. I take it that you're right on the beach, then, right by the ocean.
Man, about a mile from the ocean. Yeah.
Wow, love it. Have you always been from that area?
No, I grew up in South San Diego. So it's a little town called Chula Vista. It was right by the border of Mexico.
Oh, I know it well.
Oh, do you really? Oh,
no.
The border. It's a small town. Yeah. So that's where I grew up. But then, with work and stuff like that, moved up to the LA area. So
Sure. So, out with poker, what is your vacation? What do you work as? Do you work?
Yes. So recently, I was recently laid off, and I say recently is probably about 2 months ago or so. I was working in cybersecurity for an IT company, and I worked specifically for the federal government portion of the business. And so I was really in. Anyway, there was been some cuts made, and I was kind of the newer member of the team, and we knew it was coming. We've all talked about it and stuff. So stopped doing that. My girlfriend opened up a salon. Actually, this is the third weekend. And so her manager, is really long story, but manager quit like day before her mom had an issue. She flew out to Florida. I said, I'll help out and do this sort of thing. So now I'm currently I am the helping hand, managing, doing the books, administrative stuff, communication with the salon. And everything.
Are you washing hair?
No. I'm not in that. Anybody ask me anything that's specifically about the what's happening inside, I'm not too sure, but I help with like all the outside paperwork.
Right. You're in the backgrounds, but that's an integral part. Well, good on you. At this point, I'm going to bring in Antisha because she's backstage. Can you hear us now, Antisha? Can you hear us? We can't hear her. She's just laughing. I think she's trying to play a joke on you, play a joke on me. No, we can't hear you, Antisha. Can't hear. I'm sorry. Right, we'll carry on. Right, hobbies, Freddie. What hobbies do you have out with poker?
Yeah, I just took a sip and it started. Excuse me for a second. Yes, hobbies. So currently, sorry about that. Running around with my kids, softball, soccer. I know. I remember an interview previously. It was with you saying we call it soccer, but it's actually football. So my son is huge into that.
Okay.
And my daughter has 2 sports. She does softball and she does volleyball.
Okay.
Currently, my hobbies are that. But I love playing pool, shooting pool out on the weekends, having drinking beer and hanging out with friends. But as things start to slow down with the salon, I mean, I'm for both my girlfriend Julie and I, we are working 60 plus hours a week, and we're only open 5 days, but
it's a lot of hours.
Yeah, the days that we're not open, like today and tomorrow, we're focusing on the marketing part and bringing people in. I mean, I've been in sales, my background is sales, so I'm working around the clock of trying to figure out how to build the so that is it. But cycling is my passion. So I've been racing for several years and cycling, and that's where I got my name Fast Freddy was from cycling. So
is it like sports cycling, like on your bike, racers getting down, handlebars down, and
bumping elbows and
lycra shorts on?
Yep. Yeah. I think if my poker buddies saw me in my cycling, what I call a kit, they would probably laugh at me, to be honest with you. But anyway, I don't even know if I could fit into it at the current moment because I haven't been in it for a while. So.
Right. Okay. Well, we had a poker player on here about 3 years ago, and he's still in the group actually, but he runs a chain of salons all over the US.
No way.
Yeah. And I was going to help him out with some of his marketing stuff, and I'll because you're a new business, I'm going to offer our services, and I know you do sales, but my idea was this kind of setup that you see right now, where we can logo everything, was to interview somebody belonging to the salon and explain what services you provide and a wee insight into the business, and you can use that in your social media. So
That would be bad.
yeah, so we can set it up. So that's something to keep a hold of my number for that one, and we'll look after you there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, right. So we've got your hobbies. You like drinking beer. You like getting beat at pool. But then we go on to the poker. How long have you been on the VR poker? Tell me your VR story. How did you get onto it?
Well, actually, it was last December of 2021. My girlfriend at the time, her son's got a VR, and I've seen them around. Never knew what they were. And I don't play games, or I don't play video games or anything like that. But so I said, let me check it out. And so I put it on, and there were a few games, I think boxing and like some sports games. I think it was like a baseball and like tennis or something. And I started playing, and I could not believe like this. And so December, I think it was the 25th or the 26th. I can't remember. I bought a VR.
Okay.
And
was it the Quest 2?
It was the Quest 2. That's what I currently have. And so like immediately after, I think it was maybe a month or two after, like the original strap that comes on it, I was like, got to ditch that thing. And I started researching straps and more battery life, because my battery is always dying. And so I got an upgrade, and I don't remember what it was.
Was it the Bobo VR Pro, the one with the battery?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, and
it's a game changer. Game changer.
So that's the one I had, the Bobo VR. That thing like completely changed my life. I spent so much time in poker VR. If I had the original strap, I think I would have like blisters around like my ears and stuff like that. The Bobo VR made it like it was game changer, as you said, for sure.
But how did you find the poker game? Did you put in a search for poker?
I think I didn't know poker even existed. I was looking for games like whatever. There's like so many search engines when you're in the home area, as far as like in filters where you can go free games, or like I was looking at demos. I wanted to try some stuff out because I didn't know any of it. I saw Poker VR and it was free. And at first I thought it was a demo, like I'd check it out. But then you go through the whole like tutorial, and it's like shows you. And then all of a sudden I was there at a table, and I was like, this is actually really cool. I was playing another game, and I can't remember. It was something with a frisbee and throwing in a goal, and something you're flying around. But and then all of a sudden, like my attention started going to poker, and I started meeting people, and I was like, this is pretty rad. Actually, it's more of a social environment. I mean, I love the game, but it's social for sure.
Of course. Now, see, when you said poker VR, is it Poker Stars you're talking about?
Sorry, Poker Stars. Yes. Poker Stars. Sorry.
Because probably 3/4 of this group started off with being on Poker VR.
Interesting.
Which is a different game. So
yes. Poker Stars for sure.
Yeah, we've all, well, not all of us, but most of us are now migrated to Poker Stars.
Interesting.
But there's a lot of members here that still are only on Poker VR. And they have the ability to play Poker Stars. I think they're just scared of playing good players.
Is that? I have not tried. I have not played actually Poker VR, and I say VR for virtual reality. And again, like that's how ignorant I am when it comes to games and stuff like that. Yeah. Poker Stars has been that is the only game I've played. I actually asked a few folks in Poker Stars about the VR poker, and they were like, there's pros and cons to both, and the pros that they explained, I was like, cool, I really love that. The cons of the part, and I was like, okay, so I never really tapped into Poker VR. So I mean, as far as like, my like personal opinion, I don't really have one. But I don't want to, not that I don't want to. Poker Stars is like been the most fun for me. So
yeah, well, we were the same. We all started in Oculus before the Quest headset came out, and we played on the Go, and we played Poker VR. But then the Go version broke, and they said that's it, it's done. So we moved to the Poker VR version on the Quest, and we played there for about a year, and then people used to come in and say, go to Poker Stars, it's far superior. And we kept jumping over, and we didn't like it because there was so much going on. But then when you get to a level in Poker Stars, it's a game changer again, another game changer. It is so cool. It's so immersive. and the social side is as good as anything. Did you play poker before virtual reality?
Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't say like playing poker religiously up to virtual reality. There was a time, I think I started playing when I was like 18, 19, with family and friends and stuff. And we would have people come over, and, you know, we would like put real money in and play like more of a tournament style, whereas like we get X amount of chips and then boom, you know. But yeah, played poker, and I learned my strategy honestly from back then from my brother-in-law, who's no longer my brother-in-law, but I still stay in touch with him. He's a really good dude. He played a lot and played religiously. I mean, that dude was a good, really, really good player. So
okay, well, we'll talk about strategies in a minute. A big hi to Anne Prather. She's one of the original members. Her name is Ann T Up, which is quite a good name. She's not a bad poker player as well, and it's time you got on PokerStars. And just
let's
to
go.
let you know,
come on, bring it.
Facebook user, we don't know the name, saying, "Hey, Shuggy and Freddie."
What's going on?
We don't know who that is, right? So, so you are a seasoned poker player, moved over to the VR, and the next question is, what level are you at now? The level question is usually just for the poker VR players because you get levels when you move up. However, PokerStars, the only level I think you can see is probably to get into the G Club. I think once you get 100 million, you get into the gallery. After that, there's not really much. There's no other level, is there?
Correct. Not that I'm aware of. When I found out there was the G Club or the Antasia, that's who it was.
Yeah, and she was backstage, and I tried to bring her on, but her mic wasn't working. I don't know what happened. Yeah, hi, Antasia.
So I found out, I think a few months into when I got when I started playing poker, which I think was like shortly after I got. I mean, it may have been January. I think it was about March or February-ish is when I saw, or maybe it was a little bit after I saw the Halo, and they introduced it at some point. I don't recall. It was like when I first saw it and I asked about it. I was like, "What is that?" Because I like the Halo, and they were like, "Oh, this person had hit 100 million," and I was like, "Oh, so you get the Halo, and then there's some other things like you just hit it, so I know you know like they give you the cigar and like the little light. I mean, it's pretty baller." Yeah. I had to hit it, and so I don't want to say obsessed over it, but I spent a lot of time playing poker, and it was like this ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. And the closer I got to the 100 million, which I hit, the closer I got, it seemed like I went to like 92, 95, and then I would drop down, I would lose. I think I got just too anxious to try to hit it. And so as far as that goes, I mean, the $100 million club was something I really, really wanted and focused and put my put it towards it, and I was able to get it. And I think it's been like 3-4 months since. So
and I think it'd be good to have another level, another tier that you could drive to get to.
I think I'll say I think $1 billion would be a little bit too much. I think maybe something in between.
Maybe half 500 million might be a good shout.
But
even that's crazy. 500 million, isn't it?
I constantly hit. I go up and down over the 100, and then come down over and over.
Welcome to my club. Did you hear my story on Monday? What I done?
I did. That's what I was going to ask you. I was like, congratulations on that. It was
bad. It was bad. Right. I was stuck at 80 million, and it took me 3 weeks to get eventually to the 100. 3 weeks to get 20 million. I've only been playing PokerStars for about 8 weeks. Incidentally, Anne says, "Take care. Tell the crew I said I will try to find you on PokerStars. Get me some dinner, you dirty slut." I love her. She's good. Right. So so I was 3 weeks trying to get to this 100 million. On Monday, I got to 102 million. Was in the lobby. You get the little envelope. And I didn't know how to get into the club because it's a bit awkward trying to find where
they're watching.
So after an hour, I got in, and you go into this nice room, as you know, and it's the high stakes tables. And then all of a sudden, Freddie, I'm sat at this slot machine right in front of me, like a proper casino. So I'll have a little shot of that. So I done 4 spins, and then I noticed my bank balance went down to 82 million. It was 5 million a spin. So 3 weeks of work to get up to the club, and all of a sudden I'm in the club for 10 seconds and I'm now down to 82 million. I came right out the club, back down to the tables, and lost another 15 million all in one day. So
I don't feel bad. I've lost around 30 million in one day. I mean, I know it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah,
it's a gut wrenching thing.
It really does. Right. So favorite tables. Where do we find Fast Freddy G? Where should we find you if we want to play with you?
You say like favorite tables. Are you referring to like chip level or like the
levels or on the sit and goes or the spin and goes or the chip level or that's
I'll do MTTs every so often. You won't find me often there. Sit and goes, spin and goes. I'm more of a sit and go than spin and go. I've done spin and goes.
What about cash tables? But do you play
cash table? Like probably 95% of the time.
Right. So what level of table?
It depends, and there's an asterisk there with it. It depends on who's on. I mean, I'm once I hit my 100 million, that goal has been set, and now you'll find me at 25 at the low. You know, you get the 25, 50 or 5,000, 100,000, 25,000, a million, 2.5. I don't have a lot of friends at 2.5 and uncapped. I do have a lot of friends out in the 1 million and below. So you'll see me a lot below. But if I'm competing or trying to get after something, you'll see me sitting on the top of the 2.5. Uncapped sometimes. I don't do uncapped all the time.
Yeah, I don't think I would do uncapped. Too scary for me. But I've kind of the million table and the 10 million tables. I'm round about there. That's I'm comfortable there.
As a matter of fact, I'm not gonna say I'm offended, but which I understand. But we did play together maybe once or twice.
Right. Okay.
And I think it might have been the first time you actually met Antisha, who I met through you at that time. Sorry, I have my pin in my head. So we have played together, and that table was extremely fun. It was a completely different table mindset, and it almost seemed like, and I don't like you ran that table. And everybody was there talking, everybody was talking, having a good time, but there was a respect, and that respect was towards you, which was interesting. And that's what kind of drawn me, like, who's this guy, Shoogie Woogie?
That's and I don't know. I never get respect.
No, you get a lot of respect, but everybody knew who you were, and it was like, it was a good situation.
Well, I think what it is, Freddie, you've probably seen this at tables. You get tables where one person or two people might talk, and it's pretty drab. And if I've not got a talking table, then I'm losing chips because I'm bored and I'm just going to call everything just to play. But if I get a social table and I get people talking, then I don't mind folding because I'm enjoying the social company, enjoying the conversations.
Interesting.
So I'm known as a stimulator. I don't want to be the focus of attention. I just want people to talk.
Absolutely. There was but the energy level that was brought, I think, not from specifically you, but from the table itself was pretty big.
So there's got to be a bit of stimulation at the start, and then people come out their shells. And you hear some fascinating stories on the table, some really, really good stories. It's trying to, I don't know if you're like, but trying to tell people, your friends that are not on VR, partners, family, about it. I don't think they get it. It's like sitting with people from all over the world, and sitting really close playing a game. It's a bit unique, really.
It totally is. I'll share. Like, there's been a couple experiences with that. Like, hey, I'm not a video game player, but everybody knows who I am outside of this, and the Poker VR. There's been a lot of people who are like, "Oh, that's a video game." I'm like, "Yeah," but like, there's some really good close relationships I've developed, and some good friends I've developed through Poker VR.
Definitely. Yeah. Onwards and upwards. Right. So we're back to the strategy of poker. So what kind of player would you say you are, and do you have a strategy that you want to tell us a bit about?
I'm kind of a mixed bag. That's my opinion. I've gotten other opinions on this as well. It depends on the mood I am. Sometimes I can read the table really well. And this is, again, my opinion. And I thought I've been able to read the table really well and lost a ton of money, but also read the table really well and then know when I can, pretend like I have a good card or not have a good card or whatever the situation is. Bluffing is one of those things. It just depends on me being able to read the table, me being comfortable with what's going on, but also like confident. And so if those things like are there for me, yes, I'm that type of player. And
So have you just admitted there that you bluff?
No, I meant fluff. That was my bad.
Right. Oh, so you're a fluffer.
But also I'm very conservative and flip flops, and it's not a day or time. It depends on the table and the vibe and the setting of the table. It changes for me time to time.
Yeah.
I talked to a good friend of mine, which Antisha, we play together quite often, and I asked her, I said, what player do you think? She says I'm an aggressive player, but I don't feel that way about myself, which is kind of interesting because I feel like I have a good understanding of like what's going on around me. But
okay.
But I don't. So give and take, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Well, thanks for not giving much away. We didn't get. You're just a mixed bag. You basically, I think you're calling it as you see it, and picking up on the signs, the language, and the trends at the table at that time.
Totally that. And again, it just depends on the table. It depends on the table.
And that's the great thing about poker. There is so many different strategies.
Yeah.
Down to the size of the bet, when you bet, what cards you're betting with, what kind of language you're using.
Exactly.
It's just to try and take all this on board. And then when you think you've got the table sussed out, a new player comes in and blows it all away again. So you
changes the dynamic.
Yeah, definitely.
Changes the dynamic. And I'll make a comment on that if you don't mind. I've noticed that, and it becomes very important there. I've noticed that some tables, and I didn't understand that until like what you just said, that when new players come, that changes the dynamic. I'll see tables at like with a max of 5, with a max of 4, with a max of 6 instead of the 8 that are there. And I never knew that why. And it's because of that. I think that's my opinion on it. Is because you get a set of folks that want to stay there, and you have a small set of folks, the table, you start to learn the dynamic, and it makes it more of a strategy and a challenge and competitive versus like new players constantly coming in and the dynamic of the table continues.
However, I'm going to give you this point. We interviewed a very good player from the Poker VR side, and he was talking about PokerStars and how he likes PokerStars because PokerStars are doing an 8-seater table. On Poker VR, they only do a maximum of 6. Now, he says that at an 8-seater table, it's more honest because the cards, there's less chance of people having aces, kings, 10s when there's 8 players. So the less players you have, the more chance is the river's going to be very equal to other players. So there'll be a lot of all-ins, which we get on Poker VR. I never thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah, never thought of it that way either. It's like kind of the opposite. Interesting. Okay, well, that's something to think about.
So that's why I'm now enjoying the 8-seater tables after playing 3 years, just 6. I'm enjoying the 8s because I'm seeing less and less of equal hands because there's less cards and there's more cards spread between more players. One word that I don't conform with is algorithms or algorithms. I don't think there is any. I think there's too much coding and programming to favor any kind of poker player and what cards you have.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts. Right. Okay. Right. In a session, you could play for an hour, 2 hours, or you could play for 5 hours. One session. What has been your biggest win that you can remember in a session?
A biggest win in one hand or a biggest win?
No, in a session. So you're on for 2 hours or 3 hours. What has been your biggest win?
I think, well, obviously it was when I was chasing the $100 million, and I don't remember. It wasn't when I hit it, but it was coming after. And I remember I bumped from like, it was 50 million to like 85 million or something like that. So it was somewhere, and that's just a rough guess. I want to say it was about 30-ish million on one session sit.
And how did you feel when you came off 30 million chips up?
I mean, when you take your headset off, everything's like, it's real. It's like everything's back, you're like, okay, I feel excited, but I felt really good. Because, obviously it's just chips. It's just what have you, but
you know, everybody puts time into this game, and you know, you put time into something. If you put time into developing,
value.
you put time into developing more money. You put time. It was a personal thing for me, and it still is. I mean, so yeah, it was my time. How I felt like amazing. I thought I was that point. I was like, I'm a really good poker player. I can, you know.
Yes.
And I think maybe the next session or something humbled me. So we'll just put
Yes.
it like that.
Right. So that's it. So you win 30 million. You're feeling in cloud nine. You get a great night's sleep. You feel good. Your life's great, even without the VR on. It makes you up. So then you get a session where you lose a lot of chips. What has been your biggest loss?
I think it was there was one night, and I heard about it from multiple people, and this was when I was playing a lot and every day trying to hit that 100 million. Maybe I had it already, but I went to 2.5, went to 1 million, back to 2.5 million down, and I was jumping around depending on where my friends were.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was just announcing my hands. This was prior to the announcing my hands, like, hey, I got this, whatever. And and it was like, it wasn't like right before the flop. It was, there's, you know, and I think I lost about like 35, 40 million or something.
Wow. Yeah.
Because everybody knew what I had, you know,
Right.
and I think I was just trying to be generous at that
So
point.
you've went from one extreme to the other. So you've lost 30 million, 35 million. You come off, take your headset off, you feel it's shit. Do you ever question your poker skills and ability at that point?
No, not even close. And here's why. Because being in sales, like it's the same thing for me. It's you're gonna win and you're gonna lose, and no matter how many at bats you have, depending on the day, depending on like who I am as a person, depending on the outside perspective, you're gonna win and lose. So yeah, it sucked. It was like, damn, like you said, you work so hard to get to a certain point, and then you and that was on me. You know, that's what. But I didn't question myself, and you know, you should never question yourself as a poker player, especially if you have some wins. You know, those things are most important. You're gonna have ups and downs.
I question it more when I go on a streak. I maybe go for a week of not doing well and losing more than I'm winning, and then I question my ability, saying, should I be playing this game? And then the week after, then all forgotten. You've won again. So yeah, interesting. Right. This isn't a question. This is a break sponsored by Revenant, who plays on Poker Stars as well. He says, Shuggy, I just want to say 3 words to you and see what all your guests say. The 3 words I'm going to say to you is the weirdest place.
That's a question?
I don't know. 3 words. Respond.
The weirdest place. And referring to like poker VR or just in general?
Just the weirdest place. What is your response to that?
That's a difficult question to answer.
It's not a question. It's not a question.
There needs to be a response to the weirdest place.
Whatever. Yeah, the weirdest place.
Wow. Okay.
Did you not hear Anticia's response?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay, say nothing then.
No, weirdest place. So like my girlfriend was sleeping in the bed, and I wanted to stay upstairs and stuff, and so I went into the bathroom to play poker VR. I mean, that's weird.
You rescued that there well. I thought, oh no, there's too much detail here. Girlfriend sleeping. No. I was ready to click the mute button. So you played in the bathroom, the weirdest place.
I've played poker VR at like my son went to go to the skate park, and it was like, I don't know, they had Wi-Fi in the area, so I played there in my car. The weirdest place. I so many. It's like such a general question. It's so weird.
That's fine. You've answered it well. I liked how I thought I was getting a different answer when you mentioned your girlfriend, and then you said no, you played in the bathroom. Poker.
Yeah. Right. I'll keep it PC, I promise.
Right.
Although I can go non-PC very quickly.
Listen, Poker Stars can ban you all you want, but you'll never be banned from the round table.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, there's Antisha. She's dying. She must be laughing, having fits.
Yeah.
And Tisha says her weirdest place. I think her daughter was watching. She says, "I can't really tell you, but it was in the back seat of it." No, I said, "No, no more." Right. So, this is a hard question now. We're halfway through this, Fast Freddy. You're doing really good. This is a hard question because you have now to create 2 6-seater tables. One table is social, which means you have to invite 5 people that you're going to have a good social experience with. And then the second table you're going to do is you're going to have a competitive table, a table when it's serious poker. Not
Okay.
It doesn't have to be the best players. It can be players that you think are good competitive games. So give me your social table then. 5 names.
Okay. So can I give you a high stake and low stake table situation where it comes to
Well, not really. No, because for the social table, it could be any stake. It could be $1 table.
Okay.
It's about the social aspect.
Okay. All right. Okay. So one of my friends, I have 2 really good friends, but one of my good friends, Jamie, she is somebody who I played with. I talked to on the phone as well. She's definitely there. And then obviously Antisha, she's there always. That's somebody who, like, the 3 of us get along really well. And a guy named Tease is a really cool dude. I talked to him offline as well. He'd be part of my social table.
Good.
Both those 3 kind of tap into both the high and low. So having to give not a high and low, because I do have my like high stakes table of friends that I like make social, and then low stakes table as well.
We'll pick one of each then. So I need 2 more names.
Yeah. So
Jamie and
Glory,
Tisha and Tease.
Glory, which Gloriosity, who is on there, and then Kelly as well, and that's my group, and that's
So Gloriosity and Callie. Did you say Callie?
Kelly, yeah, Kelly.
Yeah. Oh, Gailey. Right. So you got a good social table going on there. Incidentally, the person that we've got backstage, you've already mentioned her name, Jamie, is backstage, but she hasn't connected her devices. Jamie, you're listening backstage, darling. All you have to do is allow StreamYard to use your microphone or camera, and we can bring you on. Maybe she's not a member of the group. Maybe this is the only way she can. Oh no, I don't know. Anyway, so we're on to your competitive table now, Fast Freddy. So once again, I know you play the lower tables as well, but it could be a combination of good players from down below or good players from up above. So let's have it.
So for competitive, there are quite a few people again, but they're mostly at the high stakes table. There's a guy who him and I were trying to achieve the $1 Million Club together. We were both neck and neck, and it's not like we were competing to get there. It was just we both were supporting each other. His name is Grungy. He's also been on the leadership board for Weekly, and I think it was for the $1 Million. And I see him constantly now at the 2.5. This a girl named it's Rachel. She's very competitive as well, and she's also very social, so she kind of like taps in both. A girl named Slayer, but she is more the MTT or the what you call
Second goes.
Yeah. We do the tournament style. She's really good tournament.
Okay.
And a guy named Time Capsule, who this dude is pretty interesting. He can mathematically figure out hands, what's been given, what's those type of things from the flop, and he mathematically does
percentages and stuff.
Yes, and then I challenged him, and I was like, well, it's not even that though. Reading people is also very important. And he goes, well, math is more. And then he told me reading people. I've seen this guy fold this. I've seen this guy fold this. Mm-hmm. So he takes that into an equation as well, and percentages. Mm-hmm. That guy's brain is.
That's a dangerous player. That is
extremely dangerous. And last but not least, and this person's probably taught me more than anything, has been somebody who I look up to. Her name is Mystic Cutie Pie.
Cutie Pie.
Mystic Cutie Pie is an amazing player. And I first met her. I lost 10 something million with her, and then I came back at a table, started playing with her again, and started like picking her brain a little bit. And she's an amazing player.
Yeah,
very
not only is she an amazing player, she's an amazing person.
She is.
Cutie played originally on the goal side with us, and then she moved. Then she moved to the Quest, and then she disappeared and went to Poker Stars, and she was a high roller on the Poker VR game. She's done very well, and then when she got into Poker Stars, when I joined, she's got billions of chips. Billions.
So there's two cutie pies that I've noticed. There's is Q and the T _ 3 point.
That's the one I'm talking about, Cutie.
Okay, I play with her. I'm friends with her. She's amazing, and she's very social. I haven't had much time with her.
Oh, so it's the other one.
It's the other player. Her name is Mystic Cutie Pie.
Mystic.
Right, so there are two, and I don't know who was first or who whatever, but both are amazing players. I don't really socialize with the QT _ pie.
Yeah.
We talk every so often, but she's extremely awesome too. But Mystic Cutie Pie.
So Mystic Reacher. So that's a good competitive table. I don't think there's any players there I've played with, so I'll look out for, especially the time capsule. I'm interested in his vision of the game. So we've got Mystic Cutie Pie, Time Capsule, Slayer, Rachel, and Gringy. I'll look out for them. And there's Cindy saying hola. Hi, Cindy. She's from Canada. She hasn't been on Poker Stars. She's a Poker VR player.
Get on Poker Stars.
Yeah, get on there, Cindy. Right. So this is quite a tough question. Is there any players you don't like? Is there anyone you would like to name and shame?
We probably all run into this. It's just the players that are trying to destroy the dynamic of the table, throwing stuff around and just making things difficult. Although, I'm not going to say I haven't done that, but it's time and place. And I'm not doing it to piss people off. I'm doing it because everybody's having a good time and we're, messing around. It's friends at a table. But when you're constantly being like, you can't see and they're putting stuff in your face and it's like, come on, but to put somebody's name out there, somebody really, really, really affected me personally, and his name is Farrell. It was on my birthday. He, we were talking, and he's like, "Yeah, it's your birthday," and I was like, excited. And he was a friend of a friend, and he did some really dirty things, and so we'll just put it at that. And it's nothing like it had to do with poker. Everything was doing with poker, but he's like, "Hey, it's your birthday, like, well, whatever, I'll help you out, whatever." And I was like, "Cool." And he knew this is when I was going after the million.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was
okay. So he hit below the belt. So Pharaoh, we're watching you. I don't think he's on the page anyway. So no, well done for name and shaming. I name and shame them. Talking about name and shaming, I'll name and shame Slugsy. He's another countryman, a new friend that I've met over the last couple of weeks. So welcome to the page. He just joined today because he heard you were getting interviewed, Fast Freddy G.
Oh, nice. Welcome, Slug. Somebody you said it was something Voodoo MD.
Yes, that's the only one that I would name and shame on Poker Stars.
I haven't had a personal interaction or a personal attack, but I will say that guy does have he's not a polite person, and he can be very, very rude towards people. Not towards me directly, but I've seen it, and I just when I see that, I keep my mouth shut because I don't want to get into that interaction. Because I sometimes can lose my shit sometimes, so I didn't want to do that. So
well, me too. The wrath of a Scotsman speaking an accent that you don't understand is not very pleasant. But when he was at the table I was at, it wasn't directed to me. It was his general demeanor, and especially talking to the females at the table. His language was just inappropriate, I think. Yeah.
I don't have to know the females. I don't have to, have a personal connection. But when I hear that, it's I am not cool with that.
It was more the innuendos, and this was after him telling the table that he was a family doctor.
Right. Yes, I've heard. Yeah, that was one thing I learned about him when I first met him, and
which is weird. Anyway, move on. I've named and shamed him anyway, so it's fine. Right. Who's the best players you've played against? Who name me players that you just cannot beat.
It'll be Mystic Cutie Pie. She is somebody who goes aggressive and plays and as soon as I feel like I have a good hand, she has a better one. And so it's like it's one of those things I cannot read her. It doesn't matter what time of day, what have you. She is an extremely good player, and she's aggressive and conservative all at the same time, and it's very difficult to read her.
Is there anything you don't like about the game? Not the social side. I'm talking about the actual the way the game plays. Is there anything you would change about it? So it's not quite right. Developers wise, what could they do?
The one thing I would change if possible, and I'm not sure if there's a reason behind it. There probably is, and there's a reason behind everything. Is like being able to pick a seat. A lot of times I want to sit next to a friend or like on the another side of like somebody who I know plays aggressively. So if I bet and I know they're going to bet aggressively, I want to be able to sit on the other side so that way I can like fold. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to pick a seat.
Yeah, but then again, that's not real poker because if you're at a casino, Freddie, you have to take the first available chair that is.
Exactly. But at a real table that I know of, you can pick and choose. You don't have to sit at a specific seat. So if somebody gets up, I don't know if it's probably not etiquette, but being able to move at that. But you're 100% right. Being able to that is not real poker, but strategy, against that is, and I want to be able to make the decisions of the table sometimes. And if somebody in my mind is a little bit more aggressive than I am, I want to be able to manipulate that situation.
Yeah, I understand, because on the Poker VR game, not Poker Stars, we found it quite often when you seat in Poker VR, seat numbers 1 to 6.
Right.
So if you're sitting on seat 6 and number 2 becomes available, you just leave the table and you can join and you're in seat 2.
Interesting.
I'm sure that happens on Poker Stars. There is an order of the way the seats come in, although it's not round the clock. It is pretty much diagonal, I think. But you still do that.
There is, and I can show it to you if you give me like half a second if you want. Yeah. It's up to you. There is an order of the way the seats are being able to, and I've seen people leave, come back to sit in a specific seat.
Yeah.
Are you interested in knowing? I can show you real quick.
Show us. Yeah, okay. I think I do know, but show everybody else. That'd be interesting.
Cool. Go ahead. I'm listening as we're doing this. I can multitask sometimes.
That's more than I can do. So while you're doing that, how often do you play the game?
Now, because of business and stuff, I'm on maybe 3-4 times a week, which is not a lot. I was on probably I was on. I couldn't even give a number without being embarrassing. Probably more than 30 hours to 40 hours a week before.
That's not embarrassing. Yeah, that's pretty usual. At the peak of lockdown, I was between 70 to 80 hours a week.
So so I've been on for 24 to 48 hours, helping people chase leaderboards, partnering up with people, just getting or just into it and the emotional connection with the game for sure.
Yeah. Right. So have you done? Let's see this order that you've scribbled down for us. Hold it up. Let's see it.
Okay. So here's a quick order. So let's say we're gonna go. I'm sorry, trying to do this. This is the dealer, correct?
Okay. Yep.
Or the first person that opens. Okay. So then it goes to number 2 here.
Yeah.
That's number 3.
Okay.
That's number 4.
Yes. Now I'm lost after that. So
5, 6, 7, and 8. So that's the order of it.
So really, seat number 5 should be seat number 2. Really.
Exactly. Instead of going around this way, it goes up to the side. No, I'm sorry, up, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. Interesting. Thanks for showing us that. So you can actually then manipulate what seat you want. But if you go out in the lobby, somebody else might have stole your seat and you're back to your original seat you didn't want to be on. So.
Exactly. But if you have a good crew, they'll tell, hey, my friend just black box and they want to sit right there. And they
doesn't happen much. Is there anything else you think you would change about the game?
After being on for a while, that whole watch glitch, I know everybody runs into it where you can't do the store or pick up whatever the situation is. That's the situation. And then Something that happened just recently is like every time you're on, it's always asking you to what's that? Give your opinion about the poker game, and then you get a free prop.
Yeah, that
Um,
stopped in the last week. That stopped.
it hasn't happened for me. I'm just like I can be
It's
on
not
for a
for
few,
me.
and I'm constantly having to X out of that
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah. Okay, cool. Right. So, question 17: have you ever given yourself what kind of challenge have you given yourself in the game? What achievements do you want to get out of PokerStars? What are you aiming for? You've already joined the G Club, so what's next? What's your challenge? How do you
you know that
challenge yourself?
that was my biggest challenge. Like I said, I spent several hours on the game trying to get to that point, and I've gotten to that achievement. Leadership isn't something. The leadership board isn't something that I particularly want to go after. Although challenges that do come up here and there when friends of mine they want to go after it. So you figure out who number 2 is or number 3, and then I'm like, okay, competitively, I'm going to go after them and see if we can work them. They play a lot more conservative when they're in the leadership board.
Yeah.
So if I don't have a hand or I have a decent hand and I can see that they're invested, if you can hit all in or do something, bluff, and the likely of them wanting to play more aggressively is less because the leadership board is at stake. So we have friends of ours and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't really have, unless there's something that's above that $100 million.
Right. So is your challenge then just seeing your bankroll increase then?
Yeah, I mean, or keep it above the 100 million. It just like I
Right.
said, it fluctuates
Okay.
up and down.
Right.
You know,
So then we go on to tournaments. I'm going to talk about tournaments. You play tournaments. So surely if you play tournaments, then that must be a challenge for you to win a
yes,
tournament.
yeah, and you know what? The thing is I have my ups and downs with tournaments. I've done really well where I'm on, been on the final table. I've done really well or not done well at all where I'm, out like immediately. And for me, it just, that part is confusing. I feel like used to be really good at tournaments. Now it's not. And so the tournament situation, which might be something in the future, something I might want to go after and win a tournament. It is very competitive and it is a very, very long process. I mean, you're there 2 to 3 hours sitting in a tournament. And for me, I think my patience is what runs thin on the final table. I just okay, if I can go all in, I'll be the chip leader of this table. And then you're gone.
Finish quickly. Yeah.
Right.
It's like me. I've not played one tournament yet on PokerStars, not one. Because I know with playing Poker VR, the other side, the tournaments bored me because nobody spoke. It's a bit more serious. And the amount of time you have to invest, it's not me.
Yeah.
I will get to it, but I don't challenge myself to win a tournament.
Yeah.
So,
You can do the mini tournaments, just like the sit and goes, those type of things, which are completely different. But a full MTT, I mean, you're talking about hundreds of players,
yeah, I heard last night's one for the G Club was over 700 players. I mean, that must have took a hell of a long time to finish. It's just, it's not for me.
That and the amount, I mean, especially like where you work your butt off to get to that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be on edge. I'd be too scared to call a lot of things, and I hate to put myself in that situation, where.
Yeah.
So.
And yet there is players that I know that only play tournaments. That's what
Right.
they like. So it's horses for courses, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Question number. Oh, we're doing very well here. Question 19. Can you name any players that no longer play the game? Any old friends?
I have some really, really good friends I don't see anymore, but I still keep in touch every so often. But I met him through PokerVR. One guy's name is Exalt. Another guy Doof, who I was friends with him, and you start to develop a connection. They go through the personal things. And Kelvin, a friend Nino.
Why are they not playing? Is it just life changes? Are they bored with it? Or
I think a couple of reasons. Yeah, there were some life changes for some of them. Some of them with Poker VR, specific. There's one Poker VR like really got to him, and like I really need to get. And he was part of the $100 million, and he had gone up and down, lost a bunch, And I think that like was a really like internal thing for him personally. And so, you know, there was that part. And then people, I just don't know where they went. Like, just know they're gone, you know? So, but I think it was like taking up time and emotional. Some people are like, there's too much drama, too much stuff going on, and too much like, you know, all these things. And so, you know,
we lost a good few players after the COVID thing relaxed and lockdown finished. We lost some players obviously because they went back to work, and
makes sense.
You get in a routine of not playing, then you don't play. But when you've got an addiction problem, like most of us on PokerStars now have, we just can't put it down.
Right.
We have to go in and say hello. Yeah. Have you ever met anyone in real life from VR?
Yeah, there's been a couple. I actually met who's been chiming in, Atisha, and like, you know, I do FaceTime with a lot of folks too. Who I mentioned, Jamie at my you know, the social table, and Tees who at the social table. So those people over like FaceTime, but and not like in, you know, an avatar, but face to face. I met Antisha. She's fun. She's fun to hang out with.
Yeah, she's a nice girl. Yeah, I've met 3 or 4. It's a weird experience because you have good friends on the table, and then you see them real life. It's weird.
Yeah,
very weird. Weird sensation. Right. This was a question more for the Poker VR, but PokerStars do it. They offer a subscription. Do you subscribe? Do you think it's good value? Do you think the developers deserve a subscription? Or how would you adjust it?
I don't think I would adjust the subscription. And I recently found out there's 2 now, but I do the $10. $2. I don't know what it is. $10.
Why do you do it? Why do you subscribe $10? I do the same as you. What's your reason?
Because I was playing 24/7 on it, and I was like, you know what? You know, I would be paying for something, and yeah, they do give you things and stuff like that, and you know, what have you. But I know I feel like it also helps with the development and being able to pay the employees and stuff like that to keep the game going, and you know, updating and that sort of thing. So
I think they do a good job, and I think $10 is 2 cups of coffee a month or whatever, and you're getting all that time. And of course, it's I don't know if that maybe a bit of a status thing. Your name's in purple, so you're acknowledged for doing it. So if I see somebody and their name's not in purple, I'm starting to think, are you a cheapskate? You know,
you know what? Some people ask about it, and I don't even think about it anymore. I think my status is the crown, the 100 million. That's
but you're still, your name's in purple.
Yes,
because of the second tier. The second tier jumps up a good bit to, I think it's $25. Now, there is players that do subscribe to this, and I think it's unfair. I think they should have their name in gold.
Something different, and they don't have a different color in their name.
No, they're paying more, so they should be acknowledged. And so I think that's only fair that should happen. And $25, that's still good value. I don't think they get a lot more for it than us paying $10. However, you know, so. But yeah, I think the game is worth a subscription, definitely.
For sure, at least a $10 one for me. Definitely.
Okay, Fast Freddy G, we're on to your last question. Can you think of a crazy thing that you've seen or done on VR on PokerStars? Any crazy nights or around the social table, and you've all been doing something silly or anything you can think of?
Yeah, and I'll keep it PG. There was a poker table, it was a 5, you know, the low stakes table, and there was a few high stakes people, so you know, whatever. And there was, how do I say this? There's people who were sort of interested in each other that were just having a good time at the table. And the game was secondary to the fun that we were having. And it was a late night for us. It was probably like 2 or 3 in the morning or so whatsoever. And for me, I was, you know, just playing, enjoying, and just like socializing with the people. And it went from that to something completely different. And I was still my social person and having fun with my friends over here, and there was something else going on over here, and so that was that. So.
Okay, so there was a lot going on. We used to play all sorts of crazy games. And I remember Cindy came in there and said hello. We used to play Truth or Dare at the tables as well. That was good fun because everyone was being honest, and there was some amazing stories about that.
So, I'm sure people, especially when people start drinking, you start to get a little bit loose and stuff like that.
Okay. You've been fantastic, and there you go. You've went just over the hour mark, so you're in the S Club. That's a Shuggy Club of good interviews. You go over the hour.
I appreciate that. No, it was really easy to talk to you. Your questions are awesome. So, when I saw a couple of your other interviews, I was like, I can't wait to meet you.
It's good because it lets people see the real person, not just an avatar.
Yeah.
So they can see the color of your eyes, Freddie, and I think everyone will agree with me. You come across as a real genuine, honest, nice guy.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So that makes it easy for us to take your chips.
Yeah. I can manipulate this dude because I know what kind of guy he is. There you go.
So I'm going to love you and leave you, and thanks so much for your time. And Freddie, spread the word about the group. Okay, as I said, we're only been on PokerStars for about 8 weeks, and we want to increase it and get more of your friends on it as well, and get them in for interviews. It'd be really awesome. Okay.
I appreciate you, and thank you for taking time out of your day to do this. And I for sure will spread the word. I got a bunch of friends I'm going to send the link to, or who've asked for it already. So
tell them to join. Freddie, enjoy the soccer. Remember, it's football with a round thing.
Right. Take care. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Bye. There we go. Oh, he's still there. Bye, Freddie. There you go. That was Freddie G. Fast Freddie G. And I wonder if he got his name for pool player, maybe Fast Fred. I don't know. But it was a privilege and a pleasure. What a lovely guy. Okay, that's time for me to go now. I'm going to go on the tables. So if you're there, I'll see you and I'll take the chips off you. We're looking for someone who would like to step up and maybe get interviewed next week. So if there's any members watching this and would like to be on the other ends, please come and see us at just give me a little message or any of the moderators, and we'll see you around the tables. Have a great week, and hopefully we'll see you back here on the Round Table of Poker next Sunday evening or afternoon or wherever you're from. From me, Shuggy Wuggy. See you later. Give me